Tulip, let's give the girls what they want. Howdy Aries, how are you doing, darling? Let's get into your weekly tarot reading today for July 2023. See what's going on for you energetically. Ivory Celtic cross spread here, and we're going to just pull some clarifiers, delve deep into this energy, because I believe tarot readings are here to provide some guidance for you, sense of clarity, sense of direction for you to move forward in your life. So if this tarot reading is of resonance to you, the best way to support me, Aries, is just by giving this video a like and subscribe. And if you do want to book a private one-on-one tarot reading with me, you can look at my website down below, SimplyVelca.com. So let's just get right into this here for you. Ooh, girl, not me losing my mic. Let's get into this here for you, Aries. All right. So in your current situation, as well as your challenged position, we have the Page of Pentacles as well as this Wheel of Fortune here. All right. So we're going to talk about this Page of Pentacles first, Aries. All right. You are at this point right now of where you're trying to get things off the ground. I feel as if you might be sitting with at this time. I will suggest for you, Aries, to start paying attention to your intuition. You might be getting some intuitive natures in terms of like what you could be doing financially to, maybe you're deciding on thinking about writing a book, starting a YouTube channel. All right, whatever the case is, Aries, right? You're getting this inspiration at this time, and I feel like you have a pretty good mind in regards to what you should be doing here. All right, I feel like you have a lot of untapped potential. That's really what I see here when I observe your cards, Aries, is this sense of untapped potential. It's this sense of where you have a lot of desires, you have a lot of talents, and a lot of just interest when it comes to just a lot of things in your life, Aries. And I feel like you're at this point right now of where perhaps you're trying to decide of like what is actually worth it for you. I feel like the sense of where when it comes to page energy, right, there comes with this inherent risk of making sure that let's just be honest here, that you're not wasting your time putting your energy investing into something that will fall through. Right. And I feel like for you, Aries, it's not a necessary factor of what you can and can't do. It's more of a sense of getting yourself in the right mindset when you're approaching this here, right? Because with this Wheel of Fortune that came in here in your challenge position, Aries, I know a lot of people when they see the Wheel of Fortune, they're just like, oh, fabulous, darling, right? That Wheel of Fortune means I'm going to be fortunate, right? Yes, but also to add a little bit more clarity when it comes to this, Aries, is that it's a message of where it requires for the Wheel of Fortune to start turning in your favor. It requires some type of action on the outside to get that to happen, right? So you might have been in this place right now of going through a little bit of a dry spell. In a social way, you might be noticing people really not communicating with you in the way that you're wanting them to communicate with you here. And the action that is necessary for you to be taking here is more so to be honest, Aries, if I were to summarize your Celtic cross right now, I would just be telling you to stop caring about other people's perception of you. Stop worrying about how coming off the wrong way, being misunderstood and stuff like that, because the reality is, Aries, it's gonna happen to everybody, right? Including me. Some of you guys that might have been following me for a long time now, you might be sitting at this point and be like, wow, Velca's such a great person. There's no way that anyone could ever see what Velca presents and thinks of him as a negative person or whatever. So everybody, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. You're not being true to your character. It's not your job to be liked by everybody. It's not your job to make sure everyone understands you. People have to take personal accountability. All you can really do is just present what you have to the world. All right, when you explore certain things, and the only thing you have to do is present what you have, put your energy into something, and the world can receive it in whatever way that they want it, but you need to be true to yourself here. And I get this sense for you, Aries, of where the reason why there has been some slight hesitation in regards to delving into new projects, delving into whatever it is that you want to do, is probably due to the past for you, Aries, because I do see with this Four of Swords here, you're at this point of where you're coming out of a place in your life of where you had to take a pretty long rest, a long period of time of where you had to just be to yourself. I get the sensation here of where it's you might have even craved love, you might have craved companionship, friendship, stuff in that manner there, but you've been so afraid of opening up, you've been so afraid of presenting your truest self, Aries, that it's been holding you back quite a bit. So what do I mean by this, Aries? And that it requires some type of action on your end to really get the ball going here, right? I feel for you, right off the bat, as I said beforehand, like I think it's really important for you to just like dispel this internal anxiety, this imposter syndrome that you have going on right now, Aries, where you're like, oh, if I don't do or say X, Y, and Z, then this person will no longer like me anymore. Or, people, when I put myself out there, are just going to judge me. Darling, again, people are going to judge you. The moment you decide where that doesn't matter anymore, all right, and you just accept the fact that like the people that are going to like you, they're going to like you. The people that don't want to like you are going to find any way possible to not like you. That's going to put you so far ahead of the curve of a lot of people, because that's what I hear it all the time with people, where like, oh, I have this desire to do X, Y, and Z, but whatever the case is, right? Everyone has their excuses here. So clarifying this here, we have the Two of Cups coming in here, Page of Pentacles, as well as the Five of Pentacles here. Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, the action that y'all need to be taking at this time, Aries, is straight up, whatever desire that you have, right? Because with it comes to that pentacles, it just deals with the earthly desire. So I use the career route for you, but again, it just is like whatever it is that you're desiring here, what happened in the past, you need to understand, Aries, that whatever happened in the past with previous situations, that's happened back then, right? I'm not going to downplay what you went through. I'm not going to, we don't need to talk about it. We don't need to unpack it any further, because I see clearly that y'all, Aries, have been unpacking it quite a bit anyways on your own, right? So you don't need a man wearing a duck earring to tell you anything more about it here. But I do see with this Five of Pentacles here, you're carrying with you some baggage from those previous situations that happened in your life, and it's really stopping you from allowing new connections, new opportunities, new partnerships to come forward in your life here. All right. And so let me use an example. All right. And my examples, they're not true cases whatsoever, but I like to just use myself as the example here. If this was for me, I could use this scenario as an example of where perhaps it's like I want to do tarot readings, but in the past, because of the trauma that I went through with Christian upbringing and stuff like that, I'm taking whatever happened in that past where I felt like I wasn't enough, I felt like I was boring, I felt like X, Y, and Z. I'm carrying all these traumas from my past and associating with traits of myself, right? Because of what previous situations told me that I was, right? And the reality is, once I overcame that, then the world became my oyster here for you, Aries. I feel like you are on the path eventually with this Knight of Wands of gaining more confidence, of being more unapologetically yourself here, Aries, and I'm really excited for that. This is really a time that I would be suggesting for you to be more adventurous here. It's not a matter of you needing to hone your skills more, not that you should never want to like continuously develop yourself. Everyone should always be wanting to develop themselves to the best of their degree, but it is this case, Aries, where it's like, you've done the preparations that you can when it comes to your life. Now it's time for you to execute on said plans. What is the purpose of having a vision board for your life if you're consistently trying to make edits to it every single day, right? And so I see with yourself with this Hermit card here, just kind of calling you out once again, Aries, where it's just like, even if I were to just like sit you down and we're doing a private tarot reading together, I feel like I don't need to gas you up any, Aries. I feel like on some level you have a pretty good sense of self-worth here. You do respect yourself. You understand what it is that you bring to the table here, but there's just still this like the specific thing that really holds you back from being able to just be Aries at 100% here. All right. And I do see with this Seven of Wands, it's just this sense of fear of being judged here. All right. And the reality is for you, Aries, is that I feel like you are convincing yourself of a reality of where how the world perceives you is in a very negative way, or you've convinced yourself that you're hard to be understood and known. I don't know. I feel like this sense of where you set up this sense of a self-fulfilling prophecy in your life here of where no one sees the true you. The reality is people can see that, right? Yeah, you're just way too much in your head here with this Nine of Swords, like the overthinking here, Aries. And once you are able to overcome that, I really see things becoming a lot more abundant for you here, right? You have the Six of Swords coming in here, where it's just the simple fact of needing to let go of something that you have consistently like ran through your mind over and over and over again, right? And it could be even like the simplest of things, Aries, where you're just like, you've convinced yourself that before you do X, Y, and Z, you need to work on your weight, or you need to work on your skin, or I don't know. I do get the sense of being to be blunt here, of like there's just certain excuses that you've created in your life, maybe the majority of them due to like some traumas in your life, so you have some reasoning behind that. But I also feel as if it's partially just because of where you're just overtly critical on yourself, right? I say that you have a sense of self-respect for yourself, but do you know, like how much do you actually like yourself, Aries? You know, you could sit here and be like, well, Velka, I like myself a lot. Your actions are not showcasing that, you know? And this, you know, I could say all the time and be like, oh, I feel like I'm one of the top tarot readers, best tarot readers out there, and, you know, whatever. But, you know, if I chose to not put myself out there, put my tarot readings out there for the world to see, you know, I'm too shy about that, then do I really think that I'm the best out there? You know, again, as an example, honey, don't be taking this out of context and be thinking it's like, oh wow, Velka's full of himself, he has such an ego. That was not the case whatsoever. But do you see what I'm saying here is that the tongue in your mouth and the tongue in your shoes are not going in the same direction, of where it's like you envision this world for yourself, you have it on your vision board of how you want to be married, of how you want to be successful, rich and famous, whatever the case is, whatever your story is, Aries. But then it's just like the actual actions that you're taking doesn't show the sense of where you feel like you actually could be successful. It shows to me right now, it's like you wake up every day and you might start feeling really passionate at the beginning, but then I feel like your thoughts start to slowly start creeping in for you, Aries. And then it's just like, I don't know, I feel this sense of where you break yourself down because of you swamp yourself with so many thoughts. Your internal monologue is just like highly negative, or just really should be, your internal monologue should be celebrating you and reassuring you of why you're doing X, Y, and Z, rather than trying to find any way possible of how someone could like find a kink in your armor. All right. You know, as an example, again, Aries, it would be the sense of where I started out recording tarot readings, and then in my mind, I'm like, oh, wow, someone can see like a pimple on my face or a scar, or whatever the case is. And so as like the video goes on, you can start noticing my energy going down, because I'm just like, oh gosh, like everyone can see everything wrong about me. And maybe people can, you know, you clearly can see a little bit of acne on my face, like right here, honey. The, you know, pimples on your lip are like the most painful and the worst there, right? But do you see what I'm saying? It would be a little bit ridiculous for me, Aries, to cut off this tarot reading because of a pimple, because of a scar. The reality is, like, nobody's perfect, and I know social media has convinced people to thinking that they have to present their most perfect self, because a lot of people do, you know, and it's understandable. There's no shade to those people. I'm one of those people as well, you know. Before I got on camera, did my skincare, did my eyebrows, you know, I spruced myself up, but I would do the same thing, like think about it in the same way of like when you're going out to see people, when you're going out for company, right? Naturally you want to zhuzh yourself up a little bit, but you don't need to be perfect. All right. And we live in an age now, especially with AI becoming more relevant and stuff like that, where perfectionism really isn't what is desired, Aries. All right. When you think about it, anyone that actually watches my channel, you don't watch my channel because I give you the most professional experience, darling. Okay. I can't even consistently upload every single week because I got so much else going on, right? You don't, like, for people that ride with me and vibe out with me, they ride with me and vibe out with me because of just how normal of a person I am. Now, could I present like this grandiose figure of myself and, you know, make it seem like I'm this perfect person? Absolutely. Like, it would be really easy to do, but that's just not what it is I want to put out in the world. And I feel like that's not something you want to put out in the world, if we're going to be very honest as well, Aries. You know, it's okay to have to be rough around the edges a little bit here. And I do see on some level, Aries, for you is with this Queen of Pentacles, you might have this sense of shame, this sense of shyness when it comes to going after what it is that you want, because you convince yourself that it might be too vapid, or, you know, maybe it's been a long time, Aries, since you've actually like did things just for you. Right? That's something that I get here, is where it's like you're so used to being of service to other people that when it comes to providing for yourself, you don't keep that same energy. Like, you're a better friend to other people, you're a better lover, you're a better family member to these other people, compared to how you are with yourself, Aries. All right. And so the suggestion that I would be making, if you're really wanting to get this Wheel of Fortune to start turning in your favor, darling, is that you guys really need to be addressing this devil that is in your life here. Like truly, 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 you guys need to be really addressing what this devil is to you. Maybe it's an external thing. Maybe for a lot of you, Aries, it's an internal thing here. But whatever the case is, the sooner that you get to this point of the King of Cups, of where what's going on up in here, what's going on with your emotional state is at an all-time balance, that's where the success is going to come in. That's how you're going to get this Wheel of Fortune to really start turning in your favor. Is not through you trying to perfect the perfect plan, trying to make sure everything's squeaky clean and perfect before you put yourself out there. Maybe it would help. I'm not going to say that if you didn't put some extra effort into certain things that you want to get better results. And that's just me being blunt and logical, darling, right? If I showed up looking like I do when I just get out of bed, wearing my bonnet and everything, honey, you know, I probably wouldn't get nearly as many views as I do on social media, because it's like I'm not presenting my best self. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, Aries, and pretend like that you don't need to develop yourself or work on yourself on some level. But at the same time, you don't need to reach for perfection either. You don't need to wait until your skin is perfectly clear before you go out and follow your dreams. All right. What you really need to just be doing is just to do it, and provide a space for yourself of where you are the most likely to be as productive and to continuously do something over and over and over again. All right. And that might mean just learning how to like yourself when you're 5 pounds heavier than what you would want to be. And it might just mean learning how to just accept that not everyone's going to like you, because that's just the cold hard facts, darling. All right. Name a celebrity that doesn't have haters. All right. Doesn't matter who you are. Mother Teresa has haters too. People, if you don't believe me, you can Google it. You can Google Mother Teresa. I forget the word for it, but it's just like where people come up with like this these like conspiracy theories, Mother Teresa conspiracies, and people make it out that people don't want to believe that Mother Teresa is as good of a person as she actually was, right? And the reality is humans are not black or white, or humans are just naturally gray arts. And what that means is that we have good facets of ourselves, and then we have some darker aspects of ourselves as well. All right. And just because you have those darker aspects that everyone has, doesn't mean you're a bad person. All right. And I know that might be something that not a lot of people want to hear, but it's just like we all have that gray aspect to ourselves. And the sooner that you accept that and learn to love yourself for that, the sooner that you're able to actually have the success that you're meant for, and to be able to start taking care of yourself here. Because the reality is here, Aries, I really do see you guys being able to be really successful. I see you in this place of being able to be really financially successful, being at this place of where you are able to not only take care of yourself, but other people in a more of an abundant way here. And I don't know, like the imagery that I get here is like you're just constantly scrolling, seeing other people live out your dream or doing things that you want to be doing. And then you tell yourselves like, oh, I wish I could do that. And you start dabbling into it. But then because of your perfectionist nature or the critical nature that you have towards yourself, Aries, it's just like it starts deteriorating really quick here. Do you see what I'm saying here? The moment you start getting out of your head is the moment you're actually going to really start seeing the fruits of your labor when it comes to your manifestations and everything of that sort here. All right. That's really like the main block here. It's not a sense of needing to, take care of some type of curse or anything in that manner. It's just learning how to just not give a fuck about other people's opinions. All right. And just be able to just present your most authentic self. All right. We all think about it in this way, Aries. All right. We all, the one person that we spend the most time with is with ourselves. All right. So we have a much more clear perception of ourselves than anyone else possibly ever could. All right. And what that means is that you're never going to reach a place in your life of where you can't find something in yourself that you would want to work, not that you couldn't critique or want to improve yourself on, but how people actually, we see 100% of ourselves, and what the world sees is like 2% of it. 5% of it, and so in that 5%, they're not going to see every flaw that you see in yourself, because you're the one that spends the most time with yourself here, Aries, I just kind of want to say like this final message before I let you go is that you are worthy of who you are right now. You are beautiful. You are, what you have in mind is very possible, but you kind of have to just believe in it for yourself and stop feeling like you need to work on certain things before the success is worthy for that you're worthy enough for said success, for said manifestations. All right. Regardless of whatever happened in the past, darling, no one has a completely happy history. All right, every single person has some type of trauma, honey. That's the human experience. All right, so I love you so much, Aries. Hopefully something in here was resonant towards you, and I'll talk to you later, darling. Bye.